Yo, this be Tyler Abear, and you listening to the WNS podcast. What?
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug, and I'm a fucking professional.
And we welcome you to episode 194 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
And we're back.
Yay! My back is back. Yay!
His back is back. My back is against your back.
What?
I don't know. Just what I'm saying.
Just say that.
Okay. If you want to follow, we're on a few websites and stuff like that. So yeah, we're on.
Don't try to spice it up. Don't try to get tricky.
I don't even fucking remember.
Just get through this. Just get through it.
I don't even remember what the fuck it is.
Beyond Pod.
Beyond Pod, Player.fm, and
Stitcher!
Sorry, my brain's not here. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Tyler Abear, not a professional.
No,
If you'd
No
like to follow us
unprofessional.
on Twitter, please do so at WNS Podcast. Follow Daniel, WNS_Daniel. Follow Tyler, Tyler_Abear.
The path to 1 million. That's right. You're at 36, I think.
36.
Yeah.
How was that 36 before?
Huh?
Was that 34?
No, you're
before?
34, and then I plugged you on Monday.
Oh God.
So you're up to 36 now. So the path is growing, and it's getting better.
No.
We see that light at the end of the tunnel,
Sure. Why not?
and we are heading towards it.
Okay.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. Got quite a bit to talk about. Glad to be back. Thank you, everyone, for all the well wishes and earthing like that.
He's glad to have us back.
I'm glad to be here. Not last Friday, the Friday before, fell into a little bit of injury. Was out for the week.
He
So
was lifting up a car. And,
yeah, I was trying
to.
to save that kitten, and it just didn't work out for me. But or the kitten, but no.
I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks. I missed you.
Not since Night of
Feels like
Champions.
forever.
Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
you, shitbags.
Good Lord, it feels like forever.
I know it's been a while. We were fully prepared to talk about Night of Champions, and I had to go and get myself hurt. So
You weren't doing wrestling moves.
No, I wasn't. But I had to get a CAT scan, had to get the X-rays and stuff like that. So turns out it was
That's how you hurt that back.
it was
Yeah.
it was a tear in a disc in my back. So
Ride pony.
pretty unpleasant.
Would you tear getting that tear?
Yeah, tear some fools up. So
Riding my pony.
you guys worry me, but no. So
My saddle waiting.
so today was my first day back at work.
Jump on it. One more time for me.
So yeah, good stuff. So happy to be back. I can tell you guys miss me. Yeah, today was my first day back at work. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a long journey. I still have some recovering to go. My doctor said it could take anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple months for me to be fully back to 100%. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to play it by ear. As far as that goes, but yeah, so we do have a lot to talk about. We're not going to talk about Night of Champions, Phil. It's too little, too
Yeah,
late.
we would forget things.
Yeah, we have enough trouble remembering
Or
what
that
happened
Raw.
the day before. So let alone what happened 2 weeks ago. And I didn't even get to watch Raw last week. So I was in a state of like medicated coma kind of thing.
I was about to say a coma.
Yeah, it was weird. They hooked me up with morphine. I was out of it.
And you were seeing things. There was a clown in the corner. and-
No, I didn't have any hallucinations, but I was having some weird dreams, that's for sure. I was sleeping.
Like lucid?
Huh?
Like lucid dream?
I don't know. It was just very unusual, but
Like what?
I can't remember anymore.
I was like,
Yeah.
explain it.
But it was just like I'd always wake up and I'd be like, what the hell was going on? But anyway, so welcome to the show. Gonna be talking about some Raw. Gonna be talking about some Total Divas. I know
What's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Ooh.
I can't remember weirdest dreams, but when I was younger, I had 2 reoccurring dreams.
Ooh, I got reoccurring dreams. So go ahead, you go.
When I was younger, I remember stepping outside of my house, and here comes this van, this crazy van, turning the corner, is on 2 wheels, coming out. I was like, oh shit, it's coming towards my house. So I run in.
Whoa. Was this van like one of those airbrushed vans with like a dragon on the side?
I don't remember. It was very colorful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I go behind the chair and I hide, and I look through the window, and the van opens. Here comes these clowns with guns.
That's
Well,
terrifying.
they bust down the door, and they're searching everywhere for me. They finally find me, and they shot me, and they killed me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think you can die there. Because I've had a recurring dream like as a kid, and even like as I got older about like 3 Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf, and like I would always be like they'd always be having a really dope party, but they would always be being like super loud, you know. And I could see out the window and the door. I see like the Big Bad Wolf coming, and I'm like hiding up against like, you know, like, and I can see him like through my peripherals, like looking in or whatever. And I'm like, y'all shut the fuck up, you know. Like even as a kid, and like even probably until like my teenage years, I had the same dream. It's weird.
There was one more where it's like, you know how like in a movie where like the monster is like a camera coming towards you. You don't know what the monster is, but it's coming towards a person and it finally gets them. And then that's I
Like
forgot where it was,
first-person
but yeah,
stuff.
that's what was coming towards me. It was somewhere like I remember being the monster or whatever, but it comes to me and it finally hits me and then it goes black.
You die in the dream?
I don't know what
I
happens
think you're
to
not
me.
supposed to die in your dreams.
I apparently died twice.
I've had dreams where I didn't die, but I was getting injured throughout. Like when I was in kindergarten, I had a dream that like my classmates were trying to kill me, and like it was one of those things where like you walk in through a hallway, you walk into a door, and you look in the room, and my classmates are standing there. They all like look at me, and I'm like, oh no! So I shut the door, put my back to brace the door, and like a knife comes through my chest. I'm like, what? So,
Can you see it like through?
Huh?
You could see it like go through, like you were looking at your chest. And you
Well,
see
in
it
my
come
in my
through?
dream, I saw myself standing against the door,
like third person style.
Yeah, and so you just see the knife come through, and then I'm running, and they're like chasing after me, trying to stab me some more. I had another dream where it was actually a pretty good one. It was just unusual. I was flying, you know, like Peter Pan style, not like in a plane. But you know, you're flying over water, and if any part of you touches water, you can't fly anymore. And so I remember I was like, you know, doing like aerial moves and stuff like that, and
Being a show off.
being a show off. That's right. And I came down, and like my toe touched the water, and I just straight in the water.
Were you like drowning?
No, I wasn't drowning after that. I
You're
woke
just
up.
like bummed that you couldn't fly anymore.
Yeah, I was like, everyone else is flying. Now I can't fly. I'm like, this sucks. It's a one-time deal. So, yeah, it was pretty unusual.
Just waiting for one of you guys to tell me some weird sex dreams. Yes, you got nothing.
I have nothing.
That's the face of a man who's got something but is not saying.
Nah, I don't
I don't
have
have
anything.
nothing.
No, nothing. So yeah, so welcome to the show. Like I said, we're going to talk about Raw, Total Divas,
Back and
Hot
we're off
Topics,
track.
Q&A. Yep, right back. Nothing has changed. So yeah, we'll kick things off with Raw. The Authority come out. We're in Chicago, so naturally the CM Punk chants come out as well. I like that they sent Triple H and Stephanie out there to sort of get the fans to do that so that they can contain them a bit. I thought it was a really funny comeback that Stephanie had. She was like, "Why are they chanting for someone who quit? Why are they chanting a quitter? I don't get it." Oh, because they're quitters as well. That's all they know is losing. So I thought it was pretty good stuff. They're discussing what had happened the week before with Dean Ambrose and the briefcase and everything, and Seth Rollins comes out, Paul Heyman comes out to address Seth Rollins what happened at Night of Champions, and Rollins from the bottom of his heart sincerely apologizes for what he did, trying to cash in his Money in the Bank at Night of Champions on Brock Lesnar. So, and I think that takes a big man to admit his faults and apologize like that. How about you guys?
I'm looking at Tyler's face. I'm trying to gauge what he's about to say.
I don't know. What the fuck?
Big man for Rollins. Big ups.
He's scared.
He's scared.
Brock Lesnar.
No. If he was scared, then he wouldn't have gone out there in the first place.
Well, it's just Paul Heyman. So.
Well, it's Paul Heyman. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Brock Lesnar. I don't know if he would go face to face with him.
If he was scared of Brock Lesnar, why did he give him the curb stomp?
Because Brock Lesnar was on the ground.
Because he got him from behind.
Yeah, he got from behind.
I see. So, but yeah. So, anyways, he apologized to Heyman. He's like, "Well, hey, don't apologize to me. You know, and next time, you won't be able to apologize because of my client." So then they changed the topic onto the missing briefcase, which prompted Dean Ambrose to come on the screen saying, "Hey, if you want to, just come and get it. Come and find me." And so they decided to leave. And then Cena comes out and attacks Rollins and then poses in the middle of the ring. Anything to really take from this?
No, I mean I was cool with all of this, from how the Authority handled the crowd to the interaction between Rollins and the Authority and Heyman. I know a few weeks back I was really I really didn't dig how they it almost seems as if they were okay with giving Lesnar the shot, but then we're not okay with him being the champ. But I sort of like this interaction where bad guys don't have to be on the same page. I sort of like how they're kind of like slithering around each other, avoiding
They're all handling their own business.
Right. Down to like Cena attacking and Ambrose showing up. I just like I thought the whole thing like flowed well. I thought it was a good segment, start to finish.
Cool. How about you, Tyler?
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, that takes us into the first matchup. We get to see Dolph Ziggler and The Miz and Cesaro in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was an exciting matchup. I think they said it went around 10 minutes. They had a lot of good spots. I enjoyed it. I was okay with the outcome with Ziggler retaining. I was cracking up at Damian Mizdow and he's nailed it. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but he's doing a really good job of being the stunt double, and I think the crowd is appreciating that as well. What did you think of the matchup, though?
I thought it was pretty fun. They were a little too reliant upon like roll-ups for like my taste, but other than that, it was pretty solid, pretty fun. And I don't think that I think this is the first time I'd ever seen a guy try to sunset flip a guy, and the guy who tried the sunset flip got slingshotted into the other guy's nuts. I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, I might have, but I don't.
Very
remember.
Unique, very good.
So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So they had some pretty good chemistry together. They had a lot of good, interaction with all three at the same time, rather than just, two guys in the ring, one being outside, then he comes in and throws another one out. So they had a lot of good spots between them.
What the heck they're gonna do with Cesaro?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Sheamus thing is
done, and now the Ziggler thing is done. So what's next for him? Only time will tell. But after that, we got to see Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury going looking for Ambrose after they were sent by the Authority to bring back the briefcase or find Ambrose. No luck. They ran into it was a Big E and Xavier Woods and your guy's favorite, Great Khali, who apparently can't hear if you're not a certain height. Oh.
Yeah, they couldn't hear him.
I thought you were going to say something. It was like Kofi, Xavier, and Big E.
No.
Big E was there. I mean,
was it Xavier and Big E?
I don't remember. I just remember Big E. I remember Khali.
Mm-hmm.
Always remember Khali.
I like how he was like, "Have you seen Ambrose?" And Khali's like, "Who's that?" I
don't know what you're saying.
Whoa.
Whoa. So yeah. Next up, we got to see a video package from Bray Wyatt featuring Luke Harper. We haven't seen these guys on TV in a couple of weeks, and it looks like they're going to be possibly making Luke Harper have the singles run here for a little bit, or maybe have Bray Wyatt be a sort of manager for him.
Then what's gonna happen to Rowan?
He wasn't even in the package.
Well, I think on the second one he was.
Briefly. I mean, he was
Yeah.
But he wasn't like the focus was Harper or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why or what they're gonna do with them.
They're sort of hitting the reset button with these dudes because they've lost any momentum that they've had is dead. And I don't know. I thought the video was cool. It was basically just Wyatt saying that Harper was a dude who had no purpose for being, and he gave him a purpose to be. And sort of the focus was on him. Harper even did a little bit of talking, but I don't remember exactly what he said.
He's going hunting.
Yeah, but I thought it was a cool video, and
Peekaboo, your doom.
I think Harper's the more well-rounded guy of the three anyway, and so
Definitely.
I think I mean, like, I don't hate Wyatt in the ring, but if you're gonna pick a strength for Wyatt, it's probably his talking ability, and I don't mind him taking a step back and being more like a managerial role.
Yeah. If anything, I'd like to see more of that, like sort of a less wrestle once in a while, but not be a main focus as far as in the ring.
Yeah,
have your focus be your character, spreading your word through the other wrestlers.
Yeah, well, I think it makes more sense with his character for him to wrestle less and be more of a figurehead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Harper's fucking awesome, so I'm glad they're getting ready to do some with him.
Yeah, really cool stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Next, after that, we got to see another backstage segment with the Authority. Miz and Sandow come in, and I was cracking up at this part because Miz just basically looks at Sandow and is like, "Tell him," and Sandow just lays into Triple H. Where's my title shot? I deserve this. This is my moment, and they've taken it away from me. So I demand justice. And then Miz was like, "I deserve it," and Sandow would be, "I deserve it." So basically doing the role for him.
Yeah.
So reciting his lines and stuff. Doug, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I sort of like these dudes' chemistry and sort of like where they're headed with this, but to me, Triple H is going to cut him down by saying he's a straight to DVD. His career is straight to DVD. That like, you're sort of burying your own like company. You're like shit. So
you're burying your studio. You're burying your lead actor in the film. You're burying the movie. Basically saying, well, it's nothing more than a straight to DVD piece of crap.
Right. So why would you continue to? Or why would you expect anyone to care about something you're telling them is a piece of shit?
Right. You should have said just like the chaperone or
the
chaperone was or something like that.
Exactly. So, what can you do? But, yeah.
Well, there's a disconnect. If you acknowledge that what you do is shit, then why would you not use that money better elsewhere? I assume it's. See, I don't even assume that it's profitable, so I don't know why they continue to do it. I mean, there has to be some business reason for them to do it. It can't be profitable, though.
I think that's the reason why they keep doing horror films, because horror films are cheap. They're cheap to do. They're cheap to make.
The Leprechaun, Origins, See No Evil 2.
Yeah.
But see, all Miz's shit isn't horror.
Oculus, all these horror films. Yeah, action film will take a hit.
Right.
Explosions,
cars,
martial arts, and all that.
WWE is comedy, is not comedy.
Yeah. So, what can you do?
Nothing.
That's right. So, I
mean, I'm not like insulted. I just find it baffling why you would go out of your way to draw like negative attention to your own shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. So, it's like a spokesperson for Burger King going out and being like, "Why would you buy a kid's meal here or something?"
Right.
I don't know. That's a terrible analogy, but you get the gist. Like, our toys are crap. Why would you buy that? You can't get this in stores, but why would you get it here? Yeah, I don't know. So anyways, we got to see the first of 3 Divas matches in this Raw. We got to see Layla with Summer Rae going up against Rosa Mendez with Natalia. And
Rosa's pretty bad. Do you think she's worse than Eva Marie? I think Rosa's the new queen of like the worst.
If these two were to have a match,
Rosa and Eva Marie, you mean?
Oh my God!
People give Eva Marie a hard fucking time about how bad she is, but Rosa was pretty fucking bad here.
I think it's the fact that Rosa has been in the business for 8 years now.
Yeah, but she's been. out for a long time, and most of her,
But still,
most of her time has been.
But she didn't wrestle that much though.
no, she didn't.
She was
And then
she was
so-
basically a valet, and then she was in rehab for an extended period.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, make her go back to being a valet, and
See, I don't think that's gonna fly anymore with the Total Divas thing. I think they want like girls that are gonna do all of it.
yeah, whatever. This was a train wreck.
The whole TJ and Natalia thing is so baffling here because I get the connection to Total Divas and the NXT shit. This is why I get that they're doing like an angle with them on NXT. I get that Total Diva. This is like some sort of synergy between the three shows because Natty and Rosa are friends on Total Divas now. So I get like the connection. But why would TJ go with Natty to watch the Rosa match? That's so dumb. Like, why would he be there? It's so stupid.
Just for airtime, I guess.
Yeah, but he went out there and then it was like disinterested, and she was like, "Why the fuck aren't you paying attention to my friend's match?" It wasn't Natty's match in the first place.
Yeah.
So why was he there at all?
Fact.
I don't know.
It was just like weird. Like, why? I get
Because
like,
it pertains to the show.
well, I get giving people airtime and tying it in, but it made no fucking sense whatsoever.
I mean, if I had to guess, they showed the clip of him being, getting her a birthday present or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, is that for you or is that for me?" or something like that. And so I guess they're trying to add friction or something by having
Well, no.
him go out there and be like, I don't even care.
Well, that's
about
what I'm
your friend."
saying. I completely understand they're fighting on Total Divas in that universe. So
From
I
something
get
that happened months ago.
well, and I get supposedly there's a lot of shit on NXT about like him being Natty's husband and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they
so,
say
the
that.
fans
so I
will
get-
chant that.
So I
to her.
get, so I get that tie-in, and I get that Natty would be in Rosa's corner because they're friends on NXT. But but it's all splintered. There is no one connective through line for why he would be there. They're just trying to shoehorn three different things
They're like,
into the same
Hey,
spot.
we got you in the back. Go stand out there and play on your phone.
Yeah, it was just didn't make any sense. I don't know.
And
Like
if the fans start chanting Natty's husband, just put your headphones on.
if it was Natty's match, I could understand
must.
her forcing him to be out there and him acting disinterested, and then they get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But why would he ever have to go to Rosa's match?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I'm just.
They're trying to be supportive of Rosa. She's recovering.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't
Don't
care.
give a shit.
He don't care. So, as far as the matchup,
Doesn't care.
Rosa's pretty bad.
yeah, it was pretty bad. So, yeah. After that, we did get,
Layla was fine. I mean,
and then they took pictures of Rosa on the floor. So, whatever. Very childish. But, yeah. So next up, we got to see Dean Ambrose come out, set up a table, have the briefcase there, and he had a bag with him. Started throwing out some merchandise to the fans. And it's clearance sale time. So giving everyone some shirts and all kinds of stuff, good stuff. And what was it? Mercury and Noble came out and was like, "Hey, you gotta give us the briefcase." And I did like the line that he said, where he was, I was laughing pretty good at this segment. He was like, they sent the cruiserweight division after me." So I like Ambrose on the microphone. He's a really talented dude. It's sort of a breath of fresh air for me. I feel like this is something that the WWE has needed for a while. Like, he's got that good attitude, kind of character. But all in all, I really enjoyed this segment. But what about you, Doug?
it was garbage. I fucking hated every second of it.
Really?
I'm being totally serious. I thought it was fucking horseshit.
Wow.
There are like two shining examples of how not to get Dean Ambrose over, and they've gone with both of those as a try to further get Ambrose over. He's sort of organically over on his own right now, and they're doing the absolute two worst things to try. It's like he couldn't be organic over on his own. They have to put their own spin on how he's going to be over, and
Right.
they put the two things that are going to hinder him the most. Like, one, the absolute horseshit worst way to get over a quote unquote crazy guy, a quote unquote unhinged guy, a quote unquote unpredictable guy is to do shitty WWE comedy with him. Like, the fucking briefcase is a fucking stupid comedy spot. Like, why? No real crazy guy would go through that length to do that shit. He would just like try to fight those guys. It was absolute bullshit. It was absolutely horrid. I couldn't fucking stand it. I was like rolling my eyes the whole fucking time. I thought it's like, is he a crazy guy or is he fucking Gallagher? Is he fucking is he a fucking prop comic or is he a fucking like crazy
Carrot
wrestler?
Top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he a fucking prop comic or is he a fucking wrestler?
He's the lunatic friend. You don't know what he's gonna do.
Well, that's point number 2. The other absolute fucking horseshit way of getting a crazy guy over is to tell everyone how fucking crazy he is every 5 seconds. There's this thing that exists in the comic book, like in comic book world, as far as like writers go, and it's called. It's like this whole thing about you show people, you don't tell people, and that's sort of referring to people like in comics that like especially older comics, and sometimes guys will get away where they give you a lot of exposition and they tell you instead of showing you what is happening. So like you're like. The idea is like they keep telling you this guy's a badass, this guy's a badass, this guy's a badass, but you don't ever see him do anything badass. So you're like, you're just telling me he's a badass. I never see him do anything badass. Right. You're just like, this guy.
You're hoping for the people to repeat it.
Right. They're saying this guy's crazy, this guy's crazy, this guy's crazy. But when he does something, he's telling you a stupid joke. So like, I don't connect that he's crazy, and I'm just annoyed that you told me he was crazy 100 times. I think I think it's the worst way. I like Ambrose. I want him to succeed, but I think these are the 2 absolute worst ways to go about it. And I think he was organically over on his own.
Yes.
I think they're trying to put their own spin on it, so they can say like guide him how they want him, and they're gonna
can't let him get higher than Cena.
Well, look, I don't even think it's about that. I think it's just about them like wanting the credit for like him being over, or them feeling in control of someone who's over or whatever. But if a guy's fucking crazy, don't do shitty comedies with him. Look, I'm the biggest proponent in the world of comedy has a spot on the card. And the spot on the card for comedy was the Slater Gator fucking match with Matadorus. That was the spot for comedy, and that was fine. That's a good spot for comedy. Like your guy who's he wasn't the guy you were going to go with anyway. He's your backup. You're only going with this guy as the push guy because of the guy you wanted to go with is out hurt. So now once you relent and have to go with this guy, like you can't do the shitty shit with him. You gotta like do this guy right. I mean, there's a place for comedy, but Dean Ambrose is not the guy who's you need to focus your comedy on. And I'm not saying that Dean Ambrose can't ever throughout his career do something comedic, because we've seen big guys like Austin, we've seen big guys like Rock, we've seen Foley. All those guys have done comedy, but they've done it after they're established enough to where they can survive a bombed comedy skit. Yeah. Like you could kill a guy with some lame shit on the way up, and he'll never get there, and it won't fucking matter in the long run. This was fucking garbage to me. I fucking hated every second of it.
Fair point.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from. But as far as just
I mean, he can talk. I mean, I like him talking and stuff, but just like, I don't know.
I personally found it entertaining. But I definitely see where you're coming from, and can agree to what you were saying. But I don't know, just tickled my funny bone a little bit. But yeah, so Ambrose runs back up through the crowd as Rollins tries to open up his briefcase and gets splattered with green slime, and then kind of loses it and tries to get his coat off or jacket off. Had a little difficulty with that, at least. But I thought that was pretty funny too. I went back and watched that a couple times actually. But yeah, so then there was a running gag within that segment where Ambrose was talking about how he opened up the briefcase to see what was inside, and he was like, "Oh, there's something that I didn't expect from you, Rollins." And you know, after that we got a backstage segment with the Authority, you know, basically telling Kane and Orton, you know, you're gonna go out there and fight Rollins' battles for him because he can't do it right now. I mean, if he didn't have to go to the trainer and get his eyes checked out, you know, he'd take care of his own battles. But for right now, you guys have to go out there and show the world that you are still dangerous and all that. And after that, there's sort of a brief pausing and sort of a
buzz.
And you know, they're kind of.
Everyone's like, not my cell phone.
Yeah, it's not my phone. I don't even have pockets, you know.
They did a vibrator joke.
It's a vibrator joke inside the briefcase, which, you know, Rollins quickly snatches the briefcase, and it's an electric razor. So, I mean, he does have a beard.
Why were they doing that? Why they made that joke for?
Just because Ambrose made a joke of, man, I opened this up, and, you know, there was something I didn't expect for there to be. So yeah, they made a vibrator joke basically. Which to that I was chuckling once I heard it, and I was like, they're all looking around and happens to be in the briefcase.
See, I thought that was kind of lame too. I would have been like more. I thought
that would have been like right up your alley.
Well, I thought it would be more interesting if if they played up on it. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, that's a fucking vibrator." Like I'm. Well, I mean, like they went for they're going for the easy joke, the low hanging fruit. But then like, if you're gonna do it at all, like why not go for like some big shit? I don't know. Like why not step up the rung a little bit? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go for like a vibrator joke, then go for a fucking vibrator joke. I don't know. It seemed kind of.
It's a PG show, Doug. Come on now.
Well, then you can't do the vibrator joke.
It's implied,
right?
And where the kids are like, I don't know any electric razors that do that.
It's a vibrating dildo.
Yeah, it's a dildo.
It's a dildo.
So after that, we got to see like a 2-minute matchup between Mark Henry and Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas actually getting the victory. Kind of a shocking upset to continue the woes for Mark Henry. He came out before the matchup and tried to apologize to everyone, and Bo Dallas said, you need to close the Hall of Pain and enter the Hall of Believers. Yes! So yeah, but Bo Dallas ends up getting the victory, and backstage, Mark Henry decided to attack Bo Dallas as he was talking to Renee about his said victory. So, Doug, what are your thoughts about Mark Henry and his losing streak at the moment?
I mean, I was cool with it, like, to an extent, but I always hate to see Henry be the guy who has to make the other guys. And I know that in professional wrestling, there are guys get made because other guys will make them. And that's a role in a company that someone has to play. I just, like, a really big fan of Henry, and I hate that he's always seems to be in that role. He gets a run every now and then.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's got a little more to offer, man. I would like to see them.
And I think I saw like a rumor or an article stating that Henry might be going heel again soon.
I mean, he excels it. He's such an intense guy that he can make intense babyface work, but he excels at like heel.
They feel like they've been switching back and forth quite.
Yeah, him and Big Show and Kane, are all guys. They just plug in.
Flip a coin and
they plug into whatever, however, whenever. You know what I mean? They're like, we need someone quasi credible, and they plug those guys in.
Yep.
They swap them back and forth, on a dime. You know.
Flip a coin. Which way does it land? Heel or face? Heel or face? Heel or face? So yeah. So we'll have to see how that particular storyline plays out. That yes. So next up, we got to see a promo. A lot of backstage stuff. A lot of promos on this episode of Raw. Goldust and Stardust talking about how they have found the collective key and it controls their destiny. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Don't give a shit.
Yeah? Don't care?
I really don't. It feels like Stardust, the one that's saying the stupid shit. Mm-hmm. And then Goldust says, yeah, we have the cosmic keys, and that's all he says pretty much. And but Stardust says the stupid shit, and then he does the star thing in his hand.
Yeah. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, I'm like uber annoyed with the Stardust stuff.
Okay.
I'm a big Goldust fan, but I can't stand the Stardust. And,
it's not getting him over. I feel like, to me, it's not. I mean, made for kids. Or no, I don't know. He's a heel. Well, kids still like heels these days.
Yeah.
I like Goldust and new way of painting his face there.
The fire of gold.
Like the old Darth Maul looking thing.
So after that, we got to see the second Divas matchup, especially focusing on Total Divas. That was Brie going up against Cameron and Eva Marie, thanks to Nikki, thanks to the Authority. So this is the crowd wasn't into it at all. I wasn't particularly into this matchup, but how about you guys? I know you guys are the Total Diva fans.
Yeah, but there's a separation of they have in the past tried to tie Total Divas to the show, and they're doing an even bigger effort to tie it into Raw now. But there's a big separation of what makes Total Divas enjoyable and what makes a good pro wrestling match. And
I feel like they shouldn't connect it.
I don't mind that they connected. But there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way.
Yes, there does. There needs to be.
Bring Vinny in.
So, so Bree ends up getting the victory and does some yes chants, which gets the crowd into it. That was pretty much the only thing that the crowd cared about, was doing the yes chants. But next up, we got to see Los Matadores going up against Slater Gator.
Yeah.
Dude, those new graphics have the cars and their faces flashing. It's
like
so
that.
awesome.
Yeah. And did you hear their music? It's themed the
like-
three-man band and Titus's theme together. Very good mashup. I like that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I mean, it looks like these guys might actually be coming up in the ranks here soon.
Yeah, what I didn't like is it felt like up until now they were the baby faces and all this shit, though. Now
Yeah.
they made it feel like they swapped it on them. I don't mind them being heels. I just felt like everything up until this point they were the baby faces, and now they sort of made them feel like they were the heels now.
No, I think they were the faces in this one because they ended up because the finish ended with them getting the victory. However,
But they were sort of being a dick and bullying.
Torito.
Yeah.
Well, that's just El Torito, but they brought out
Maybe that
Hornswoggle
bull's a
dressed as
fucking
the
dick, who
Gator.
knows?
Yeah, who knows? But the reason why I say it's they were playing the face is because Adam Rose and the Bunny, they're standing ringside. They go up there and they attack Heath Slater.
Well, see, that's why I thought they swapped them, because I felt they were presenting it as Adam Rose and the Bunny stood up for them beating up on Torito. Like, that's how it played out to me. It was like they were like saying, "Hey, don't fucking bully that bull."
They caused a distraction. The Matadores came in and delivered their little drop on Slater,
Right.
and then the Bunny did the splash. So I'm like, this is a 4-on-1 assault.
Yeah, but I thought it was after like the Slater Gator like initiated being a dick to the Torito or whatever. That's
Yeah.
how it played out. For
They were
me.
just trying to say, your bull ain't nothing on our Gator,
right, and of course,
baby.
and of course, but it just felt weird to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts on this whole Bunny thing that's going on with Adam Rose?
Is it still supposedly going to be Darren Young in the long run?
I don't know.
Have you seen Darren Young with his new hair?
I did. Did you
He looks
see that
different,
video?
huh?
It looks good. It's a good
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
I have not seen
It
it.
doesn't look bad. It's just different. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
is that Darren?
He looks a lot different,
He
especially
does
with the
look-
facial hair and the haircut and
Right,
all that.
right.
Yeah, I like it.
See that from like way he looks now to compared to when he first came in. With
Yeah,
like
when he
the
first
Super
had, he
Saiyan
had the
hair.
Yeah, the crazy hair, and then he had it kind of poofed out a bit. But now it's like, like shaved on the sides, and he's got like some facial hair going and all that. So he's definitely changed his look. So be on the lookout for him. But I don't know how I feel about this Bunny thing. I read on an article where they're like, the Bunny is getting more character development than practically anyone in the ring who was involved in this match. They're putting more focus on the Bunny than Adam Rose. They're putting more focus on the Bunny than the Matadores. They're putting more focus on the Bunny.
Like they're more on the Bunny than Adam Rose, but
Yeah.
Well, they're for sure putting more focus on the Bunny than Matadores, because Matadores aren't like significant in this angle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay that he gets more than Matadores. It's just, he shouldn't get more than like Slater Gator, or
No.
he shouldn't, or Rose. It's okay to give him some development, but you should give Rose some as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter that he's more of a focus than Matadors, because that wasn't the point of the match. The point of that match was just to get more conflict between Slater Gator and Rose and the Bunny.
Yeah. And one of the things about Adam Rose during this matchup is like, once they came back from commercial and, they showed him sitting down and everyone was, dancing around or whatever, it kind of just annoyed me whenever he did his line. Like, they're like, we got Adam Rose ringside. That's right. Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's decidedly more heel now.
Yeah. So he's kind of that annoying partier or whatever that no one ends up liking. So I don't know.
It's sort of amazing that he was ever sort of like a favorite, like a sort of like a baby face in a way.
It's the theme. The theme got him over.
Still, though, I mean,
So I don't know, but we'll have to see where they go. Next up, we got to see Rusev come out along with Lana, talking about the events of what happened on SmackDown, where Big Show attacked him and knocked him out. Big Show came out to counter-argue the claims, saying here's what really happened and blah, blah, blah. And then he gets into the ring as Rusev exits and proceeds then to pull down the Russian flag that was hanging above the arena, much to the delight of crowds, to spark their feud a little bit further. And Big Show ended up, standing tall in the center of the ring while Rusev looked on angrily. But after Raw, sometime today, I believe, WWE issued a statement to any Russian fans who were offended by that, for the flag being thrown to the ground like that. So I don't know where they were going with that. If that, because I remember, what was it, a couple years ago when Jericho took the flag of a different country, I forget which one, and he was suspended for that. So okay,
Right.
If you're gonna suspend someone for doing something to another country's flag, don't have Big Show go out there and do something to some other country's flag.
Yeah.
It's like Mark Henry played it off great. He was like, you're from a different country. You've got pride. Nothing wrong with that. It's the way that you're delivering it is what I have an issue with. Whereas Big Show is just like, I'm just going to pull down your flag. That's going to send a message to you.
Well, see, to me, I don't care that someone's flag got pulled down. Like I'm so unpatriotic. I'm such not a nationalist in any sense.
Right.
In a way that I don't feel like I don't have I'm not ashamed of America in some ways, but I'm not well, in some ways I am. In some ways,
Yeah.
not. I'm not I don't have inherent pride in America.
That's one of those things that doesn't boil you up. You're like,
Right.
oh, I can't believe he did that.
And to me, I can't see how anyone would have inherent pride in Russia. Not because I think one's better than the other. Just I don't inherently love America. Just not that I hate it, but you know what I'm
you're
saying.
indifferent. You're like,
It's not indifferent. I'm just to me, it's more. It's not.
I couldn't care one way or the other.
Well, it's not indifferent so much as it I don't have an inherent love of the label of the massive land that I live on. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just I wouldn't believe that I would have a hard time for deciding that a Russian guy would have that same. I would feel why would he have that? Just I don't have it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I don't believe it's. I don't think it's out of line. I don't have a personal problem with them ripping some flag down and throwing it on the ground. And it's
Right.
not and it's not because I'm some bullshit USA baby guy. It's because if you
America.
yeah, if you rewind, I would say the same thing about when they use the Rusev stuff. I was when they use the plane shit with Rusev and them, I was well, my knee-jerk reaction is that's fucked up because people died in that. But I stand by my ultimate belief that nothing's off limits to use.
Right.
And so I didn't have a problem with them using the Russian shit when it was in Rusev's favor, and I don't have a problem with this vice versa. It's the same thing. It's not the same thing because one's a flag and one's people's lives. I want to make a very clear distinction that I do not equate throwing a flag on the ground with people's lives. I'm just saying that
Right.
I don't believe there is a limit as far as that stuff goes as to what can and cannot be used. I'm just saying I personally, even if I was a Russian, even as an American, I cannot identify with the patriotism because I'm sort of the type of guy who's I think this world is going to be a whole fuck lot better when everyone can drop the whole their national pride for what country they live in. They can drop their religious pride of you're this religion, I'm this religion. We can't be whatever. Oh, I'm really proud of this place I live. Once everyone can get past all that bullshit and be we live different places, we believe different shit, but humanity is what first and foremost, we're all humans.
Let's just live our lives.
Yeah, and once we have to stop killing each other over all this bullshit about what faith we are or where we live and all this other bullshit, I think we'll be much more better as a species. So I can't identify in any way with this.
Yeah.
I don't care because a flag means shit to me, and that's not because it's a Russian flag. Because if it was an American flag, it would mean equal shit to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just where I'm coming from. That may or may not make sense to anybody, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I totally see where you're coming from. Tyler, how about you? Nation's pride. What were your thoughts on Big Show ripping down the flag?
I have no problem with it.
Yeah. And then, WWE issued out an apology for anyone who was offended by the actions. But, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, Big Show's portraying a character.
Yeah.
This is, consider it like a play in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to get mad at, any actor for portraying a certain bad person. It's like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And like, really? It's like it's a movie.
That's a really good point that you're making. It's something that I have to work through a lot because of like my knee-jerk reaction when they did the Rusev stuff they were heavily alluding to the plane shit, which they didn't come out and say, but
right.
It felt like that's where they were coming from. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. I can't believe you would say that. And at the same time, I was like, yeah, I feel like it's your artistic right to use whatever you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though knee-jerk, I felt like that's so fucked up. I don't think it's like so cool to do that, especially right now. At the same time, you got to take it back and say, like, movies were made about 911.
Yeah.
Like, movies were made about World War II. Movies were
tons.
Like, yeah, and they use those feelings that people have connected to those things to sell movies. It's the same principle as selling this wrestling show. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's been plenty of movies featured around World War II where an actor has portrayed Adolf Hitler. People aren't going to go after that actor and be like, I can't believe you do this and blah,
Right, and even though so many people are so rightfully offended by the horrific shit that happened with him, like, people, it seems like less people are, maybe because time has passed, but less people, no one's up in arms about a World War II movie where Adolf Hitler's in it anymore. And this probably is a different story because it's so fresh.
Right.
But ultimately, artistic freedom is artistic freedom. And even though I know that because I'm a real person who has real feelings, I know that I conflict my own opinions. I know that I come across hypocritical sometimes. Because that's like, I just come on the show and speak my mind, like my heart, like where I'm coming from. So I know, like, I have different views sometimes, and sometimes I change my view, or like, it's just because in real time I'm telling
growth,
you. Right. It's just, but ultimately it's the same thing. I mean, like, so I don't see how, I don't think it's a big deal. Bottom line, this is a really roundabout way of saying
this. Then you should get mad about movies that you go to watch.
Right, and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty as too, because I can see things and be so offended by them and be like, oh, because of my personal politics, I'll be like, well, that's not right, or that's fucked up. But ultimately, I have to
no one's going to walk up to Tom Hiddleston and be like, you tried to destroy New York, you motherfucker.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I got to take a step back.
I'm glad Thor took you out.
Yeah, I got to take a step back sometimes, and other people got to take a step back too, and just be like, "Yo, this is just bullshit."
I thought your name was Loki.
Just dumb wrestling.
Yeah. Where's your scepter? No. So
roundabout way, flag on the ground, not that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, I mean, in the wrestling world, they're trying to incite a reaction.
I'm the same too. To be honest with you, I know how some people get butthurt over that, and I know this
can't believe you do that.
A little different or whatever, but like. When I used to work for grounds and stuff and like different events that would have the flag, sometimes I messed up, I dropped it on the floor, and some people get pissed off. It's not like I dropped on the floor and I'm jumping on it like, fuck this, or whatever. But some people get butt hurt too easily.
But yeah, so I mean, take it what you will. That's our thoughts on it. But next up, we got to see the third Divas match of the evening, Alicia Fox going up against AJ after Paige came out and said, well, here's my new favorite best friend. So it turned out to be Alicia Fox. Short matchup. Alicia Fox ends up getting the victory after Paige was grabbed AJ's foot from the ropes in clear view of the referee. But I don't know. Any thoughts on this matchup?
To be honest with you, I'm having a real hard time even remember what happened.
The only thing I really remember is AJ crawling on the top of the ropes and doing the crossbody.
Right.
And it almost looked like she fell awkwardly, and it looked like Paige got hurt or AJ got hurt, or they both got hurt. But I mean, they ended up, finishing the match up. Everything was fine. But I just remember that much. And then it looks like Alicia Fox was going to do her little thing where she takes the drinks and pours it all over herself and her opponent. And
I remember seeing her grab them.
And she didn't, and she just dropped the cans right in front of AJ. I don't know. It was weird.
Just so she knows she could have.
I could have, but I'm not going to because then they'd have to change the mat. So I'm not gonna do that. To him. So yeah. So next up, we got to see Sheamus going up against Damien Mizdow with Miz on commentary. This was a fairly short matchup, you think? Nothing really to take away from it. Sheamus ends up getting the victory.
Not much to
But something to, I don't know, I don't remember if we really discussed it about the triple threat where Sandow was selling the leg injury that Miz was feeling from the figure 4. So just really funny stuff.
Did he carry that into this match? That would have been genius. If he would have sold the leg into this match and worked, that would have been some genius level shit.
I did see one comment, and I'd like to get your opinion on it. Since they're doing the whole stunt double of mocking, I'm imitating you. Right. How would you feel if at some point during Miz's match, if Sandow took his place?
Well, they sort of teased it where like he's tried to, but the other guys already like trying to kind of like threw it out before.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I hadn't caught that part, but
I don't know how I don't have a problem in theory, but I don't know how you execute it with still upholding the rules of the match. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe the ref didn't see, and he just gets him in a roll up and run, and
he just
rolls out of the matchup, and then Miz stands up. I did it. So.
Sort of like a Twin Magic thing.
Sort of, yeah. Or the ref just happens to be, like say Miz brings a chair in, it's like, oh, I'm gonna hit him with it, and the ref is like, no, you can't do that, and say Sheamus gives him a bro kick as the ref is trying to get the chair out of the ring or something, and Sandow rolls over. I don't know. That's too complicated.
I mean, as long as
it would have to be really quick.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't like blatantly disregard the rules of the match for him, like I'm fine with however they can conceive it.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be interesting.
I mean, the ref can't be like, as sort of entertaining as
I didn't know which one was which.
Well, as sort of as like entertaining as they could maybe make it, I don't think that the ref I don't think Miz can yell cut and then switch places with Sandow like the ref's just looking at him as it happens. Miz yells action and they just continue as if he was there, but the ref watching,
As you're saying,
or maybe that would be even better if they were that blatant with it.
As you're saying that, like I'm imagining like Sheamus being on one end doing the chest beats for the brogue.
Cut.
Yeah, Miz is like, cut, time. Okay, Sandow, get in here, and he rolls in and takes his place. Action, and then he gives him the bro kick and covers it for the 3. I think that would be pretty funny.
And maybe it would be better if they just went over the top with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, go full-fledged.
All out.
So who knows? Maybe one day we can get that, but maybe at like house shows or something, they're doing stuff like that. They're practicing it. So I really hope. But next up, we got to see Hulk Hogan come out and
he only takes the bumps for Miz. Like anytime Miz is gonna take a big bump, it's him.
Yes, like say they go to NXT and they have to go face Adrian Neville or something. And Neville gets on the top rope to do the red arrow, and he's like, cut, bring in the stunt double. So I think that would be hilarious, especially if the guys are just like sitting on the top of the turnbuckle and be like, what is going on?
Like if the ref and the wrestler were like both like, should we do this?
Yeah, is this okay? Or do we count this? I mean, is that a win if I pin him? Or I'd like to see it at least once. I think that would be hilarious.
I mean, I think it's it could be cool, but it could also present some problems. Like, how serious do you take it,
Right. I mean, if he's supposed to be the stunt double.
Right.
So.
See him taking all the ass whooping.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on that one, for sure. But yeah, so we got to see Hulk Hogan come out and talk about the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
We keep going back to this when you're trying to be all, but plus it would sort of be like heat for the Miz because he's always like he'd be the guy. Yeah, well, he's like the guy. Like no one ever sees him get his. It's always Sandow. So it's like maybe that's a way of like earning some extra heat for him.
That could be, yeah.
Because no one ever sees him get his come up.
That would be good. So, but yeah, back to Hogan. talking about the breast cancer awareness month, all the merchandise has gone pink. So really cool stuff. We've changed our logo in honor of this as well, to help raise awareness for breast cancer. So hopefully, so the money, I believe the money they said goes towards the foundation as far as the merchandise.
100%?
Maybe not 100, but
A
probably,
percentage.
oh yeah, but a good portion of it. So go to WWE and purchase a shirt or something. Good stuff. So final matchup, we got to see Ambrose teaming up with Cena to go up against Orton and Kane. Ambrose.
Rollins is mine.
Yeah, Ambrose got the hot tag, which is good. But other than that, nothing really stood out in the match to me. This was all just leading to the end, which was a disqualification after Rollins came out and attacked. And then Cena was trying to get Rollins, and Ambrose was trying to get Rollins. And, they end up both getting beat down by Kane and Orton. And then Rollins hits the curb stomp.
Nobody takes food off my plate.
To finish them off. So anything really sticking out from that? No. So all in all, it was an interesting way to close the show. I mean, heels stand tall. Faces stood tall last week. So there you go. Nothing big. With that, I'll turn it to you guys.
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
What's up?
Yeah. So how do you want to do this? Did you miss this week?
Yes.
Or you
And
watched?
I accidentally watched.
You watched last week.
Apparently, I
and thinking
watched
it was
last
this
week on demand, which I thought was this week.
So you just want me to try to run through this week, or you want to try to do two, or what do you want to do?
We can do two, because this one's fresh on my mind.
Oh yeah, we'll go for it then. Fuck it.
And since
But it's been 2 weeks for me, so this is all you. I mean, I'll chime
that's
in with
fine.
what I
Yeah, that's
remember.
fine. So okay, the storylines. So, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, which they're continuing from when Daniel Bryan is. I think the beginning of the episode was a recap a little bit because how he's about to have surgery, he had to relinquish the titles and all that stuff, and when Brie said, I quit, and that's when she was taking some time off to take care of Daniel, and so I guess they went to go talk to her mom, and because they were thinking about their future, because like what skills do they have other than this, because it's not going to always be WWE, so, and they're both like, yeah, we don't have anything. I don't know how much they make.
But it definitely felt like it was played up for
They're poor.
Played up for the show. Like, I don't know how. I'm positive that Daniel Bryan doesn't make as much money as John Cena. I'm 100% positive, but I know that he makes a hell of a lot more money than I do.
He makes a lot.
It just felt so manufactured for the show.
And I don't think that he
they're
would.
two. They got double salary. They're both.
Yeah, they got all that, and plus, I'm pretty sure, that, they play off like we got to save our money and do this to the team, which is actually good. I still think they still save money for the future and all that stuff, but like how they play, it's like, oh no, we're not on TV, we don't get paid. Which I thought they get paid more if they're on TV.
Well, I'm sure they have a downside to their contract, which no matter what they're doing, I think they're making X amount of dollars. Which the downside is the low side, like a lower.
But I wonder how much they make when they get, or how much of a cut they get from merchandise. I don't know. And plus, they're getting paid because they're on Total Divas. That's another show too.
Enough, man. Like, I understand being conscious of like the future and being conservative and being like saving your money and stuff. That's all well and good, but it was definitely felt like
I felt
overplayed
like
for
this season so far. It's like you could tell this is a show. You could tell this is more of a TV show.
Yeah,
it's scripted on certain things. This is one of them. But they went to do a test. I guess at Brie's mom's company or whatever. I don't know what type of test to see what you're good at or whatever. And they're like, so did you bring your resumes? And they're both like, no. And he's like, well, Daniel's like, I have my resume right here. And he points to his head. And he goes, I was a WWE champion. And he goes, so what else you got? It's like, well, we started this chants called Yes, and now it's like a global phenomenon. And like, you know, I forgot how he said it, but it was good how he did that. You know, it's like I transformed. He said all this stuff. It was pretty neat. And she was like, and the lady was just like, didn't really say nothing. It's like,
So wrestling.
yeah, but it was quite funny though. He had a smile. He was
Right.
dressed up in a suit and his hair pulled back and stuff, and he was just smiling.
Is it so weird for you to see him rock the ponytail so fucking much? Because his hair is so long now. He almost every time I mean, he has it down, but a lot of times it's like in a ponytail. He just looks so weird with the ponytail.
Well, also, Bree talked to Nikki. It was like,
To
hey,
talk to
John about getting a loan.
Start a business.
Yeah, and John was like, no, automatically. He goes,
It was like, I don't even try to be a dick, but like, you know, I'm worth a lot of money, and like everybody in my family who I've ever fucking met has asked me for money,
and their business has failed, and guess who's the last person to get money back? It was me.
right? And
So it was.
even Brian was like, "What the fuck? You did not do that." He was like embarrassed about it.
Pissed. He was
See
pissed.
that rings true for me. I could see someone being like, "Yo, you should have fucked."
It's like John called me.
Right.
Because Nikki was like, can you talk to Bree? I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But he's like, what
Well,
the fuck?
the twins were so like nonchalant. About, like, she's like, you should ask John. And she's like, will you ask him for me? Like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then like Cena and Brian were like the ones that are like, what in the fuck are y'all doing?
But he's like, I don't know nothing about this shit.
Can you imagine, like, because Cena's portrayed like so weird on the show because he's so uptight on the show, you know? Can you, in your wildest dreams, imagine a reality where John Cena actually calls Daniel Bryan on the cell phone and they have like a real conversation? Because that seems like not a possibility.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't seem
Seems
like
so
it.
fucking weird.
Yeah. So that happened. They argued, Daniel Bryan and Bree, and then finally Daniel walked away. I forgot what he said, but then later on, Bree apologized and all that stuff, and she just said she's worried, and he was like, you know what? I know your heart's in the right place, but they wanted to do like a an bed and breakfast and stuff like that. And then it ends up, I guess, towards the end of the episode, it's leading up to like the Bellas are gonna fight some more. Who else? Oh, so it's Natalia. Natalia, Rosa, and Summer Rae. Summer Rae's back, and like, it's just this is shit that you expect. As like, Summer Rae can't stand.
Well, like Rosa's trying to bond with everybody because she's new, so she made friends with Summer. She made friends with Natty, but Natty and Summer don't fucking like each other.
And then they were.
But like Natty is supposed to be like not in charge of, but looking after Rosa because she's the quote unquote trusted one. And then so they ride together. But then Rosa saw, because she's trying to be friends with everyone saw that Summer Rae didn't have anyone to ride with, so she invited them to like all ride together. Go ahead, sorry.
And it's back and forth, and then she's like, "Oh, stop!" And like finally,
they're playing off was it the season finale of the first season? Maybe it wasn't.
Because they're talking about the nose.
Yeah, like
the
she
nose,
slapped Natty, and Natty had a fucked up nose and had to have
she's like,
surgery.
"Oh, I gotta go to the doctor," and Summer Rae's like, "Why don't you just come out and say it's because of me because I slapped your face?"
Yeah.
And she won't say it, and she goes, "No, that's not the point." It's
She's
like,
like,
you're
your
just being
problem-
so fake and blah blah blah. And I was like,
She's
"Just
like, your
tell me."
problem is probably because you're like a bitch to TJ, like you are
Yeah.
to everybody else. Or
And
something
then that's when
like
she
that.
pulled over, and then
Snatched her out of the car by her weave.
yeah, by her weave. Didn't she like or well, I don't know if you saw a part, but she was like talking about their hair or something, like, "Oh no, this is real," and then she grabbed her and all that stuff, and then she was gonna walk, and then
Speaking of real, whose extensions fell out on the Divas match on Raw? Was it Rosa's or was it It was Rosa's. Okay. We're gonna check with Danny. I never call you Danny. I don't know what's that. It's weird.
That's my boy Danny Ray.
For those at home, which is everyone who's listening right now, because no one's here watching. But when we do Total Divas, like,
Or they're listening between classes at school.
right,
You
like
never know where they're listening.
Daniel, like, when we do this stuff, like Daniel gives us the hand signal, like, okay, you guys do Total Divas. Now then he pushes his chair back, like he's on a roller chair, to where it's like a back from the desk, and then he's like playing Clash of Clans for the next 45 minutes while we do this stupid bullshit. And every once in a while I see him out of the corner of his eye, look up, and I always think he's gonna like join in and say something as if he saw that episode. I'm always waiting for him. He's like, he looks up, and I'm like, he fucking watched. He's gonna say something.
Yes.
And then it's all every time it's
He
like
coughs or
he catches himself, and he's like, nope, not gonna do it. They almost
this shit.
they almost got me.
Damn it.
Bait and switch. It ain't happening.
Yeah, go ahead. But they got it in a squabble.
Yeah, and then Rosa, like, got them both in the vehicle again, and Rosa's driving, and she's like, they're about to talk. She's like, don't talk, both of y'all, don't talk at all. And they skip a scene. They're back at they're at an arena or whatever, and she's like, I'm sorry. Rosa's like, I'm sorry, I should have checked this one. Both y'all get, be nice or whatever. And I actually saw a part of Summer Rae I didn't like. And I feel like there's another part of this. Oh, Eva Marie. That is a prime example how this TV show is getting to me. It's how they get you. It's like you know that they play on people's emotions and stuff like that. That storyline I don't know, it pissed me off, and then it's like boom, like it was nothing at the end because they go to a party.
It's like they reset after every episode,
Yeah, it's like
everyone's friends again. They're like they all go to lunch the next time at the beginning.
Things definitely happen in between because it's like, oh, you hate this guy when we first met him, and now it's like, oh yeah, now we're together now. All the families are together, and it's like nothing but a thing.
Little bear tear.
Yeah, a little bear tear. So the brothers, the Dicks, they're going to a party and they're like
Dick Jr. and El Hijo Dick.
Well, they were talking to him, and because they were trying to avoid anything about like talking about the wedding and all that stuff because oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? Jason? No.
I always forget that fucker's name.
God, it says Jonathan.
That's right.
Jonathan.
He looks like a fucking Jonathan, doesn't he?
He looks like a fucking Jonathan.
There are people right now listening.
Red Robin brand, so listen to this.
No, yeah, I knew he looked like a Jonathan.
I said it with such disdain. I was like, he looks like a fucking Jonathan. Sorry, all the Jonathans listening.
Red Robin.
They're like, so you gonna convert? And he didn't answer our question, or they didn't answer our question. They walked off. But then they said something, or I think it was before. They're like, oh, let's throw the horseshoes or something like that. They're like, yeah, I would kick your butt. It's like, you're right, like your brother sucks or something. Like they were talking about Jonathan's brother. I don't know, it was some weird shit. Okay, and then they skip to a scene where they're at the table eating, and Jonathan's mom's there, and the guy was like, yeah, I think we should have a Catholic wedding. We're all about the Catholic, all that stuff. And they turn to Jonathan's mom and say, what do you think about this? No. Before that, it's like, I'm an old man. I should get what I want. That's what he pretty much said. And they turn to the mom's like, Jonathan's mom, what do you think? Oh, he can do what he wants. He's old enough. And it's like, whatever they choose, I'm fine with it. And then the father's like, so you pick a Catholic wedding? They said to Eva Marie, and she's like, yes. And then Jonathan's like, I wish you would have my back. And he's like, I'm your husband and all that stuff. And he's like, I'm just going to put it like that because I'm mad because I'm going to fucking rip your head off right now. So I'm going to walk away. And he walked away. And then she came and talked to him. And she was crying. But in the cutscene, she was like, my dad has colon cancer again. I think it's colon cancer. I don't know. It's like I want to please him and all that stuff and like that. And then she walks to the dad, and the dad's fine. This must have been later. It's like, hey, what are you doing?
Like, you know what? It's not even a big deal. You guys have whatever one you want.
That's pretty much what it was. That's pretty much what it's like. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
It was like they're like, okay, Daddy Maurice, we got 5 minutes. Wrap this shit up. And he was like, you got to be cool with this now.
And he was like fucking goofy as hell. He was like, if Eva's happy, Mommy and Daddy are happy.
Yeah, it was fucking
what
creepy.
the fuck? He had like big eyes. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
This is
here?
creepy, man.
They hugged it out, and then I don't know. That's pretty much it. It's a done deal. And then next week, or the week that you're about to talk about, I think like Rosa wants to make out with Natalia.
Yeah, I'll try to. Since we're doing 2 weeks, I'll try to be super quick about it. No, I'm gonna be fucking quick about it. No, but okay, so we'll talk about the Bree and Brian shit first this week. This most recent week, I guess like Bree sort of being an asshole to Brian and to Nikki or whatever. They're both sort of like, for some weird reason, like Brian calls Nikki. He's like, "Hey, is Bree being a total asshole to you?" And she's like, "Yeah." "Is she being a total asshole to you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, they're like, "We need to talk to her, but like together." And they both decide this is good for some reason, like intervention style, like she's on fucking meth or something.
You're being a bitch. We just want to tell you that.
Yeah. So this whole thing plays out where like eventually they get her in the room together. It's like Brian, Nikki, and Bree and Nikki's like,
No John Cena?
No Cena. But well, there was scenes with them where like she was sort of telling John in the car about like Bree being a bitch to her, quote unquote. That's her words. I'm not calling her a bitch, ladies. But he was just kind of like, the Cena thing where he like he listens to Nikki and go on and on about something, and then he does the half smile, like eye cut thing where it's like, I can't even fucking believe the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where he's like, you're lucky I'm attracted to you because I don't know why the fuck I'm talking to you right now. You know that look that he gives her?
Yeah, I know
He
exactly.
gives her one of those, but then he like smiles and it's like all good, It's like the one bit of personality he does. He's like so uptight, and then like she does she says something he thinks is so retarded, and he's like, I can't even fucking believe you're in the same car with me right now. But anyway, so basically they sit her down intervention style and be like, you've been a total asshole to the both of us. Like Nikki goes first, she's like, whatever, and she's like, did you really come all the way to my house from where do they live in Florida? Tampa? It's not Tampa, is it? Somewhere in Florida, right? And maybe that's Hogan, I'm thinking. Hogan's Florida.
Same difference.
Yeah, whatever. She's like, you came all the way to my house to tell me this or whatever. Maybe it's San Diego they live in. No, that's where they lived originally. I don't know. It's not important. I don't know why I'm dwelling on this. You came all the way because they don't live in different cities. You came all the way to my house to tell me you think I'm being a bitch to you right now, or like you have been. And then Brian's like, well, the problem is you're not just being a bitch to Nikki. You're being a bitch to me. And she was like, are y'all fucking for real? Like right now? It was weird. She was just like, I can't even fucking believe you guys are stupid. Why are you talking to me right now about this shit? It was real weird. Like, I can't imagine this organically happening. Like, we're going to sit her down and talk to her about her attitude problem. But basically, she eventually just relents and is like, yeah, I'm sort of being
a bitch,
uptight because I'm worried about money or whatever, and they're not using me on TV, and
that crap again.
Brian's just like, dude, just call Mark and ask him when they're going to be ready for you. And she's like, okay. And then she does it. And then Mark's like, oh yeah, are you ready to come back? You can come back now. And then, so like everything's fine.
Oh gosh.
So sit down intervention was for nothing. All she did is make a phone call. And
conclusion, call Mark.
Right. So yeah, also we check in with
John and
God, why can't I think of her name?
Naomi.
John and Naomi. Oh, but what's her name on the show?
Fuck. Trinity.
Thank you. So Trinity and John, like, they haven't been having sex for a while, and John apparently has a super high sex drive. Dude's a freak, he's trying to get his. She was like, but she's been having some problems with her stomach, I guess. She's been having a quote unquote like heavy flow period style for like a month straight. And all the girls are all like, are you fucking serious? They're like, are you wrestling? And like, while you're wrestling? And she's like, yes, constantly. Heavy flow period for like a month.
I bet they're like, ew, damn it.
Well, like, but I mean, she's worried about going to the doctor. She clearly doesn't like going to the doctor. John's like, there's something fucking wrong with you. But also, like, I want to have sex, so, like, go to the doctor.
Get your ass over there.
Right. I mean, that's not me putting my spin on it. That's kind of how it goes. Like, I'm concerned about your health. Also, we haven't had sex in a month. So, like, go to the doctor. That's kind of how it went down. And she sort of, I guess she has some sort of polyp. And I guess, like, she had, like, some sort of, she didn't have like a hysterectomy before or anything like that, but or she had like an ovary removed or something previously.
She had a cyst on her ovaries.
They said she has like a polyp, like some,
Polyp.
but they didn't say it was on her ovaries. It's just in her vagina somewhere. I don't know. She's bleeding from it. I guess like polyps.
Ugh.
I guess polyps bleed. She didn't actually have a period for a month straight. It's just like the polyps like was bleeding or whatever, and I guess they can. The doctor told her they could bleed out on their own without her having to have surgery or whatever. She didn't want to have surgery. She's worried about going to have surgery. She doesn't want to get cut up on, and that's pretty understandable.
Yeah. No.
But the doctor says sometimes they can just bleed out, so she was sort of waiting for that to happen. Meanwhile, John's like, "Yo, what the fuck? I've been trying to
Hit that.
yeah, I'm trying to hit that." And so I guess like she's telling the girls about this, and so Summer Rae is like, "Oh, you can just spice it up for him in other ways or whatever." And so she takes him to some like stripper pole class where they like teach like the girls how to do like the
How many of the girls go? Just her? Or
it was Summer Rae, Trinity, and someone else. Who was the other one? I don't think it was Natalia. Oh, it was Rosa. It was Rosa, Summer Rae, and Trinity. And Summer Rae's like, "Yo, go learn how to pole dance and spice it up for him." And like they get there, and like Trinity's like a freak of nature. She's like an idiot savant where she's like really good on all the pole work or whatever. And they like, you know how like they always make a big deal about how good of an athlete she is, which she is really athletic and stuff. They're like, "This girl is a natural." She's like doing all the crazy shit that they can do.
I bet
like,
she's done it before. You think so?
That's a broad accusation, Mr. Aver.
Well,
Trying to say that a woman's had some pole work in her life.
I would think if she's been doing all that stuff, she's probably done it before.
Nope. So. I'm just busting your balls. You know that. You know that. But they presented it like she was an idiot savant, like she just went in there and knew how to do like all the shit. You know.
Oh, is this how you do it?
Yeah.
Check it out.
But yeah, so she brings home a pole for John, and John's like, he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And she's like, "I got it for you. You know,
Check it out.
Spice this shit up." And he's like, "You just need to go to the fucking doctor or whatever. Like, you think this is gonna solve the problem or whatever?" And like, John has thrown so much shit. I think there's three. He throws the stripper pole. What did he throw the very first time he threw shit? Like a vase or something?
Vase or a chair?
Yeah, he's thrown shit like 3 times. John is Mr. Throw Stuff guy.
Yeah.
So they get into. He's like, "No, it ain't about the stripper pole. Like, go to the doctor." And so
Get
that's
that fixed so we can do it.
Right. Yeah. He's like, "I can't put my dick in the stripper pole." It's kind of like what his attitude was.
I can't put that.
That's kind of how his attitude was. I'm just saying, you know. But yeah. So the other big thing was like, I guess Natty and TJ problems, just like you saw on Raw. They're like recycling storylines from the first season where he fucked up her birthday. Like he's fucking up her birthday. He fucked up her
Anything
birthday.
with Cat?
No cat shit. I hate that cat so fucking early. They fuck up the kid. He fucks up her birthday again, and then so she has to get her own like cake and fight her own parents. And
Oh God, yeah, recycle shit.
yeah. So like Jim the Anvil Neidhart's there, and her mom's there, and she's sort of talking about her match with Charlotte from the NXT show or whatever, and she's like sort of like explaining it to him, whatever. She's like, "Yeah," and Rick was there, and she was talking about how Rick was so proud of her, he was crying during the whole match or whatever, and Jim Neidhart's like making fun of Flair for crying or whatever. It's funny. Anyways, TJ's like, "Oh, like the show was funny." I'm saying Neidhart making fun of other people is what's funny. Neidhart making fun of Flair is the fun.
Your delivery.
Okay.
Yeah, very good delivery.
Sorry. People are like, I'm trying to run through this. I feel like I've been talking for 3 hours. I'm trying to make it quick. I'm sorry. Anyways, TJ's like, haha, I'm redeeming myself from this fuck up. I got you a present. I want to look at it. She's like, yeah, let's see this shit. And he's like, it's a treadmill. And she's like, you got me a fucking treadmill? She's like, you got yourself a present for my birthday. He's like, nah, we're both athletes, you know? And she's like, that's ridiculous. Which it is. Like, who gets that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's staying out of the house because they have problems. She like leaves. She's like, fuck this. I don't want to talk to you. Don't want to see your face. Glad you don't have that stupid haircut anymore, but I can't look at you. Anyway, so Rosa, because she feels like she's bonded most with Natalia, is sort of like, yo, I want to make her feel better. I want to make her feel sexy about herself. We're going to take her out. She's like, they go to the club. They're getting drunk and shit. Someone's taking pictures, and she, like goes for the kiss on Natalia or whatever. And Natalia's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm out of here. This is weird. And Rosa's like, what? I'm sorry. Whatever. Like, Natalia's just sort of avoiding her or whatever till later, where they have another birthday party where they invite all the girls. Like, Rosa sort of, like, throws a party for her, so, so she feels better about TJ fucking up. He's fucking up a lot. I mean, Natalia doesn't seem like the nicest lady in the world. Like, I don't know. She's pretty dislikable in this show, but also seems like TJ's fucking up a lot, too. Maybe they're both fucking up. They've been together a long time, and they don't know how to be real fucking people, is what it seems
I
like.
have to say, from what I've seen on the show, they're both fuck-ups.
Yeah, they're both fucking up. It seems like they don't even like each other. Like, why the fuck are they together? They're only together because they've been together for like 20 years, is what it seems like. Anyway, basically she just ends up explaining herself, where she's like, yo, I was just trying to make you feel sexy and good about yourself because you were there for me and like whatever, and TJ's a fuck up. And she's like, yeah, TJ's a fuck up. And yeah, they worked it out. She knows that the heart wasn't the right place, and Rosa's just trying to be there for her. And yeah. Also, Rosa tries to there's like a part where Paige shows up, and like, one of those like sort of how like 1 week you see Ambrose for like 30 seconds, and 1 week you see like Titus O'Neil for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, like it was Paige this week, and Rosa was like trying to be super sexual with Paige too. Or Paige was like, I feel like you're like coming on to me or whatever, and she was like, no, something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, the end. Sorry, that was way too long. Sorry. We shouldn't have gone for 2. I should have let you take the 1, and we should have gone home. Go to the finish, boys.
Girl, bye.
So there you go. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's time to move on to some hot topics. Have some WWE 2K15 news. Tyler, do you want to address it? Or
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, so they revealed some more characters and stuff. My career mode, some people already know about it. It's your created character. It goes, he or she goes through developmental. You work with Bill DeMott and stuff, and you do training, and you get to go to NXT shows, but some of the NXT characters will be on it.
Woo!
Like, Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Corey Graves, but they're also going to have some of the newer guys on the roster that were NXT to be on the NXT roster, like Big E, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose. I think they said maybe the Wyatts.
Nice. Cool stuff.
Oh, Xavier Woods and all that stuff. And from what I read a while ago, and if I get this correctly, I guess if you're playing, I don't know how this works, but I guess you're playing that mode or something with someone maybe online, their created character can apparently attack you or something like that. I don't know. That's part of the story. I don't know. I got to read more into it, but it sounded pretty interesting.
More details.
The new mode, from what I read, it just looks pretty good.
Is that exclusively for the next gen consoles?
I hope not.
I hope not either.
He's like, yeah. I also think Bill DeMott's going to be a playable character, too.
Very cool. So good stuff. Thanks, Tyler. For those of you who are in the UK and are waiting for the WWE Network, do not fear. They have not forgotten you. They've just delayed it for a little bit. No time given as to when it'll be coming out, but be on the lookout. For those of you who are interested in traveling to WrestleMania 31, travel packages are available right now. So, we had a lot of fun in our trip to WrestleMania. I mean, it offers a lot of cool stuff. Hotel, trip to Mania, Hall of Fame, Access, Raw. So it's a really good package. So if you're interested in going, definitely make sure you pick that up.
I feel like it's only worth it if you only intend to do WWE related stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Ring of Honor or any of the other shows that are going to be in the area, like WrestleCon,
you can't do everything.
You cannot.
You cannot.
The schedules.
You can't do the indie shows, all the indie shows, and all the WWE stuff. It's not possible.
You have to choose. So, but we took the indie route and had a marvelous time. So good stuff. So with that being said, it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First and only question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying, hey, fellas, first of all, I want to say how pleased I am that you're getting better, Daniel. Life can suck at times, but it's part of living. Hope you have a speedy recovery, and best of luck to you in your future endeavors. Yeah, thanks,
Well,
Thomas.
There's a way he's helping us back up. He's doing a lot of kip-ups.
So, yeah. No, I'm not. But now on to my question. It's been a while since I
I keep
asked.
seeing Losen pictures up in my Facebook feed where him like doing all this shit with all these college kids living
Yeah.
that college life.
Yeah.
Our little boy's growing up and going to college and having fun. And
He's doing his thing.
he says, now on to my question. It's been a while since I asked, and a lot of stuff has happened. I've been nominated for an award, moved to uni, representing the WNS podcast shirt, and won the previously mentioned award. For me, the stuff I've been able to achieve is quite an accomplishment, and I want to know what your greatest accomplishments are. And you cannot include your jobs. P.S. Tyler, even though this is an opinion question for you, there is a right answer.
I'm dying to know what the right answer for Tyler is because I have no fucking clue.
Hope all is well. Get better soon, Daniel.
What award did you think you won?
I saw it, but I didn't.
Was that
Get a
the
chance to
like
read
I saw the video thing that he was in with some. Is that the award?
I didn't see the video, but I did see it was like a glass sort of frame kind of thing with his name on it that he had won. I think it was glass, or it could have been a plaque. Either way, he won. Major props. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Not sure what it was.
Yeah.
Or I
Do
think it
your
was like
thing.
most improved, or I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. But definitely
I swear I
congratulations.
saw. I'm not making this up. I saw like some news bit that he was in.
Yes.
Where that's what I'm talking about. So that's just a news thing. It's not a.
Well, that was students all over are getting ready to try and pass their test to go to uni. But one student in particular has
Don't say
made.
fucking uni like you call it uni.
I'm just saying I'm going
College.
based on what I've been told. And they were like, and one student in particular has made, more changes than most. And
Oh my god! Hit his music. Listen, strolls in like swinging those fucking.
drop it low, son.
Swinging
Drop
the
it
shoulder.
low, son. Yeah. So yeah, but greatest accomplishments, Doug.
Dude, I'm a piece of shit. I ain't done one goddamn thing. I got no accomplishments. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm just a dude trying to get by. I
Just
work.
a small town boy.
Yeah. I mean, I work like I work hard. I work a hard, honest job, and I'm fine with that. But when that's done, man, I'm just trying to spend some time with the people I care about, and then eat and sleep and fondle the remote. I don't give a fuck about too much else.
Yeah.
I don't really have any accomplishments.
How about you, Tyler?
These are not like great.
There is a right answer.
Okay, hopefully it's
Dying to
one.
know what the fucking answer.
Hopefully it's one of these answers. I don't know. Probably
Lotion,
his last
please
one.
tell us if he gets it
Yeah.
right, and if not, what
It's an
it is.
opinion question, but there is a correct answer.
I have
to
I have a few. Well, I mean, I'm still a shy person and all that stuff. But like in high school, if it wasn't for like some of my friends to get me to go into netting company and choir, I would be more quiet and super shy.
sort of come out of your shell a little
Yeah, I
bit.
did. So that was a good accomplishment for me. I don't know if this is the right answer because me and Thomas were talking about this, but maybe it's the recent weight loss I dropped.
Could be.
So
No, that I'm gonna
But is
tell
that your
you.
greatest accomplishment?
I'm gonna tell you, no matter if Lotion thinks that's right or not, that is not your greatest accomplishment because you were not a guy who needed to drop it.
No, not
You were just a
necessarily,
dude.
yeah.
You did some fucking vanity work, and like you
Yeah.
like yourself a little bit better now. That's great. That's not your greatest accomplishment.
yeah,
You didn't need
I
to
don't
drop
really
what you
have
dropped.
Is it the stuff with bear puns?
Fucking hope not. Come on,
Bear
man.
puns is your greatest
I don't
accomplishment?
know. I really don't know if it's like serious or
What
like
goal have you set out that you accomplished and you're like, hell yeah,
Fuck, I don't have one.
getting a, well, you said you can't use the job.
It is definitely not dropping a couple pounds because you went on a diet.
It's
I don't
dropping it
know.
low, son.
It's not bear puns. I don't think Lotion is as nice of a guy as Lotion is, much interaction with him. I don't think he's ever bust like too many jokes on it. So I doubt like he's coming at you with a joke, right? Where he's like, yeah, bear puns, your greatest accomplishment. You think Lotion's throwing a fucking zinger at you, dude?
I don't know. Other than that, I really don't have any.
Greatest accomplishment is talking.
I feel like a loser.
Talking in your sleep and telling me to fuck off.
Well, maybe.
Fuck that guy.
Wow, I feel like a loser. I don't know.
Hearing your now fiance say yes to your proposal. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
She didn't say no.
She didn't say no. Fuck that. I'm sorry, Listen. I don't know what my greatest accomplishment is.
Me neither. I don't know if I can.
Probably my greatest accomplishment, since I can't say getting my full-time job here, because that was.
I thought you were gonna say getting my dick sucked.
I thought you were gonna say blowjob. I thought you were gonna say blowjob.
You're like hanging. I was hanging on the. Getting my, and
well,
then I was like,
right.
I swear to God, you thought dick was the next word out of your mouth. I'm not the only one because Tyler thought it was too.
I thought you were going to say a blowjob.
You can't measure the numbers, no. And to just be one, no. The fact that I got one, no.
I conned some poor lady into sucking my dick.
No, since I can't say that getting a full-time job at the radio station has been my greatest accomplishment, or getting a job period here at the radio station being one of my greatest accomplishments, I know it's kind of cheap to say, but probably the greatest accomplishment that I've done has been this podcast, because
we made some good connections with people and stuff, and like just talk to people.
Because we set out, when we started this thing, we set out a goal. We were like, when we first started talking about doing it, we were like, are we actually funny? Would people actually listen to us?
No and no.
No and no. Well, no to the first.
We kind of got to the point where we didn't give a shit. We're just going to do what we want, and people start liking it.
But we set out to make a show.
Yeah.
Where we would just come in every week, talk about what we thought, like we normally would if we were sitting in a living room.
Yeah.
And for me, the accomplishment is the growth that we've had on this show, the guests that we've had on, the people we've met over the years that we've done this, the fact that you guys are still listening to the show.
Yeah,
I think that would probably have to be one of the greatest accomplishments that I've ever done, because I can't tell you how many times I've been told by family, dude, give that up. You're not going to go anywhere with it. It's not. You're not.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you're wasting your time. You're piddling around with friends. You should be out looking for a real job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, like that's why I stuck to doing this, because there were times everyone gets burnt out on wrestling, totally acceptable. There were times where I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it, but it's like, no, this is our project, this is our baby. There aren't too many things that you can go out and be like, you know what, I've done something that not many people have gone out and
how
done.
many people get this opportunity?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, well, I mean, people can get, I guess, equipment or whatever, but to have this type of equipment too, and get to come here every week.
Yeah.
Permission by your boss to come into a real legit radio station too.
Yeah. It's just, we've done this thing for closing in on 4 years, getting ready to start our 5th year of doing this podcast.
Fucking right, I'm weaseling in on your answer.
That's totally cool.
What he said for me too.
That's totally cool. But, not everyone gets to do what some people do. Not everyone can be a radio DJ.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be a podcast co-host. Like Doug has mentioned numerous times, he listens to a lot of different podcasts, and there are some that are just unbearable. You can't listen to it. They're phony, they're fake, they try and force the humor. We are completely natural in what we do. So for me to be able to reach out to someone someone in Ring of Honor and say, hey, we do this show, we would love to have you on. Who do I need to talk to? I talk to them, say, hey, here's some of what we do. If you like it, we would love to work with you. And and for them to come back and say, yeah, okay, we'll work with you. Amazing.
That is.
For the people that we've met, here at Hurricane Pro, who have gone off to Houston or have come from Houston, who we've gotten to meet those guys and talk to those guys.
ROW guys.
Absolutely. That's amazing, because we're in a position where not many people get to go. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I wish I could just talk to those guys for like 10 minutes, get inside their heads a little bit. I can message these guys on Facebook on any day and just be like, hey, man, how's it going? So for me, that is awesome. I'm doing something that I love. You know, it's radio-ish, and so it looks great on a resume because, you know, people are always like, if you're wanting to move somewhere or do something else, they're always like, well, we need to know that you can be loyal to something. And you're like, you know, well, I had this job for 3 years, but I left, and I had this job for 2 years. And like, well, I'm getting ready to start my 5th year of doing this podcast. Yeah. Something that just a couple buddies and I decided to do.
Yeah, I'm also proud of this too. I really am.
Yeah. So for me, in this moment, this is my greatest accomplishment because it started as nothing and it has grown into something. It's not something huge, but it is something.
It's huge to us.
Yeah. It's a big part of our life.
45 different countries people listen.
Yeah.
45, 46.
Yeah, 45.
That's still pretty cool.
Maybe
there's
more.
There's people that's weighed in. I mean, we talked to Thomas. We talked to all people from the United States or from other countries. It's just
and the
really
fact that we've been able to get people from other countries who have other thoughts in the wrestling business to not only communicate with us, but to communicate with others involved in what we do.
Yeah.
So for Thomas and Rhino to be friends, and you know the Birds of War and all that, you know, to have that kind of interaction because of something that we started is really cool to me. And you know, I would love for it to grow into something that's huge, where we get asked to go to a Comic-Con and sit down and do a panel or something, and there'd be like 200 people. Yeah, we love the podcast. You know, big dreams, whatever. If we don't make it, I'm totally cool with that. But I just love what we're doing, and yeah, I hope we keep getting to do it. So for me, that's the biggest accomplishment that I think I can do.
I don't want to sound
non-job related.
Yeah, I don't want to sound cheesy, and I definitely don't want to sound like I think we think like we're like this great thing. You know, like I don't want to sound like full of ourselves because I'm not coming at it from that at all. But I am proud of like what we do. I am proud of the time that we put in and the work that we've done. And we're not like breaking our backs digging a ditch or anything, but you know, I am proud of the effort that we have put in. It takes more effort than it sounds like to make, 2 hours worth of dick jokes. Sorry guys. Yeah, you know what, to be honest, I'm proud of this fucking show, and I'm not ashamed to say that, and I don't say that in a way that's like I think that we're some hot shit and I don't want to sound cheesy or anything, but I am fucking proud of the show. Yeah, me too.
And it's one of those things where, I'll be sitting, say I'll go to a party or something, and someone will come up and be like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm a board op, radio personality, voiceover kind of stuff. They're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, And so, like, I'm normally the shy, quiet type, but then they start saying, oh, well, what do you do? Oh, tell me more about that, And then if I get on the topic of wrestling, and then be like, yeah, my buddies and I would do a podcast and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, really? That's, some of them are like, oh, wrestling, that fake stuff. I'm like, well, you have to, so it gets me to open up further about it. So for me to open up to someone about something is, really special. So, I've realized that, getting to do the podcast and then not only do that, but to help spread the word about it, in a sense, is really cool. And, it's the fact that for this podcast, we don't have a boss. We're just three guys who come in, pull up some recording software, and hit record. And we just talk. Yep. So for us to be able to do that and get the listens, people to actually listen to us and chime in and, give us their feedback and their reviews and say, yeah, dude, I love the show. It's great. You guys are funny. That's one of the reasons why I press for that is because, not to, self-gratify myself or anything, but it makes me feel good knowing that there are people out there listening who are enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, God knows some fucking times I don't understand why anyone would listen to it. I'm glad someone's out there is pit and play. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you definitely for anyone who has ever listened to the show as we're getting closer to our 200th episode.
Yeah.
200 episodes in 5 years. Just absolutely nuts. We've only had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks where we didn't do a show.
Yeah.
And even then, like, I know one episode we did an episode while we were gone. So, you know.
Count it, baby.
That's right. So really cool stuff. Thank you for the question, Thomas. We certainly appreciate it.
Let us know what the real answer is for Tyler.
Well, yeah, what's Tyler's real answer?
Because I feel like a dipshit not knowing.
So
Thomas knows me better than me?
That's right.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. So there you go.
What if it really is bear buns? He's like busting your balls.
Yeah, it was bear puns.
No, it was DuckTales, clearly. You know?
My segment, yo. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So make sure to submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Check us out on Beyond Pod, Player.fm, and Stitcher. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Twitter at WNS Podcast. WNS_Daniel. Tyler_Abear. Follow them fuckers.
There you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Aber.
Doug.
We'll catch
I'm
you
a
all.
fucking professional, goddammit.
And we will catch you all next week.
Boom.